What is going on, guys? Jesse 504 here, bringing you week 3 of the APL. This week we go up against Spider Pig, coach of the Igglybuffalo Bandits, and his roster consists of Melmetal, Latias, Metagross, Delta Ruin, Mega Donphan, Delta Weezing, Delta Registeel, or Beetle, Blissey, Dusclops, and Arctivish. So it's a really bulky team to break through, but the first thing that I noticed about this team, there's no Dark Resist on the team at all. No Fairy or Dark, which helps out my team, I think, a lot. Yeah, so starting off, I got the Mega Flygon. I've been sort of tweaking this thing a lot. Bug Buzz, Fire Blast, Ancient Roar, U-Turn. I'm trying to see, because I want to try to fit Dracon Voice on here because his only resist to that is Melmetal, and if I look at it, the Bug Buzz, actually I think I have coverage for everything that would already hit. So I think if I just go for a Dracon Voice on here, that's kind of like a no downside move, because between Dracon Voice and Fire Blast I hit everything, I think. And then Ancient Roar is here to help me chunk the Delta Registeel. That thing is really bulky, kind of pretty challenging to break through, especially since it has reliable recovery and recover. So yeah, but the EVs are standard. Max special attack, speed for Latias I think is the fastest thing on his team. Yeah, and I got speed for that. Okay. Up next we got Cloud Chaser, Hoop Unbound, U-Turn, Aeroblast, Ice Beam, Drain Punch with the Choice Scarf. Drain Punch like this, I believe, is to 2-hit KO Blissey with the 56 attack EVs. And then everything else can kind of get chunked down by Aeroblasts. And then Ice Beam is here to specifically help with the Donphan and the Weezing. Yeah, and then U-Turn obviously is for momentum. But up next, we have Bramble, the Delta Tangrowth, Rough Skin Rocky Helmet. What else do you bring against Melmetal? Am I right? And then plus Earth Power. If it double iron bashes into me, it dies. Body Press is here. Plus Earth Power helps me deal with Melmetal and Blissey, which are two really tough walls to sort of break through. But he doesn't really have switch-ins outside of the Latias. And this thing can pretty much wall the Delta Registeel for days. I think the main thing that I'm really worried about with the Delta Registeel is forgetting that Stealth Coal is up, because there's no graphic for it, I noticed in my mock. And so I kind of lost that because I didn't realize that Stealth Coal was up, so I thought I had a couple extra switch-ins that I really didn't end up having. But this thing obviously is quad resistant to rocks, so Stealth Coal is kind of that for it. But I think overall Stealth Coal is easier to it does less to me than rocks, so I'm fine if that gets up and rocks don't. But it's stacked with rocks, which is just the main thing that I'm worried about. But spikes, obviously, if we can get those stacked up, it starts helping out, even though he has a completely unblockable spin in Donphan. I was originally looking at just going hard spike stack with also the Delta Tentacruel, but because he has that Donphan, unblockable spin's a pain in the ass for a spike stack. So yeah. Up next we got Penguin King. Shukaberry is to help me just kind of take on really the Mega Donphan better. Max defense, and then 100 in HP helps me with the Shukaberry be able to 1v1 that thing. And then Defog, Stealth Rock, Scald, and Toxic. I really want to be able to defog away the hazards, the Stealth Coal plus Stealth Rock, and then I can set up my own rocks. And he has webs in Orbeetle as well, which could potentially be really annoying if they do end up coming, although Flygon and Hoopa both, well, Flygon, it does care about them once it is Mega, but it gets that one pretty much free switch-in on webs and really on most hazards before it ends up being weak to them, and so that's kind of nice about it, but pretty standard Empoleon set, I feel. Up next, Choice Bandit, Delta Darmanitan, knockoff U-turn, Sucker Punch, Rock Slide. Bandit knockoff is super spammable against this team. Only Latias, I believe, outspeeds this thing, so no reason to scarf it. And then knockoff just chunks everything on the team super well. It's like doing, I believe, close to 50% on a Delta Registeel. And then U-turn obviously for momentum. Sucker Punch is to sort of catch any Scarfers or the Latias. But really, I think the bread and butter this week is just going to be clicking Bandit knockoffs. And then Rock Slide is here for the Delta Registeel. And then lastly, we got Victini, Boots, U-turn, Blue Flare, Energy Ball, and Taunt. I really like Taunt this week. There's so many things that I feel like taunting is helpful for. Specifically, the Orbeetle is helpful to taunt. Dusclops can be taunted. Blissey can be taunted. Registeel can be taunted. Even like Metagross potentially, depending on that thing set. Donphan could potentially be taunted. Even Latias. So yeah, Taunt I think is just a super duper valuable move here. Let me just go ahead. I don't think I need all of that speed EVs. What are they? Yeah, I don't. Okay. Orbeetle is what I need speed for. And Orbeetle hits 306, so I need to go 308. Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, and then this special attack is for the Melmetal, being able to click blue flares into that thing. Hopefully it hits, unlike in the mock. But being able to, I feel like I did prep really well for a Melmetal, and being able to just fire off a blue flare into that thing, being able to switch in my Delta Tangrowth, I think are both really helpful things. And obviously Melmetal doesn't really have its own recovery, although Blissey could pass wishes into it. But I feel like this team really relies on Blissey Wish Pass because it has all these walls, but they don't really have their own recovery outside of the Registeel. So once I can get that Blissey down, I can just start wearing down the whole team. But I was bringing you guys in the battle.
Alrighty, so we got a post-com this time, but still pretty much only a little bit after the battle, so I still remember what I did. It's just during the battle, just my family happened to be loud. Can't really do anything about that because I didn't want to jaw on the opponent anymore. It's already Sunday. If I were to sort of stall out a little more after that, potentially, I could. I don't want to deal with like a forfeit loss or just like being annoying to the opponent because we definitely tried to schedule earlier in the week but couldn't quite work it out. So instead, just got a post-com here. And on team preview, we see the Mega Donphan, Delta Metagross, Ruin, Melmetal, Delta Weezing, Dusclops, and Orbeetle. So the big thing that we don't see here that's really nice is A, the Blissey for Wish Pass, and B, the Registeel Delta for A, Stealth Coal, and B, pretty much the only thing on their team with reliable recovery. But at lead matchup, I saw also no Latias, which means that Darm outspeeds everything and goes ham, especially because I was predicting like an Orbeetle lead. So we do, in fact, actually get it right. I almost never do that, but they frisk our Choice Band, and turn 1 they just got into Dusclops. I think they were assuming or predicting a U-turn, but knockoff was a no drawbacks play. So they sneak with their Dusclops, but then we take it. We're up early, and then out comes the Donphan. Tangrowth is a super easy switch in right here. Donphan hardly can touch us. They do go for a knockoff though, which means that like now I can't quite check the double iron bash as well, but doesn't really end up mattering. I get my spikes up before going back out into my Delta Darm, and they get their webs up, which are kind of an annoyance for me, but nothing really too far beyond that. We knock off on the Melmetal, and it reveals Assault Vest, but now I can go out into my Tangrowth, because this thing was obviously my dedicated Melmetal check. Like, what else? Rough Skin Rocky Helmet Mon. Obviously, you're going to want that for your Melmetal, or for the opponent's Melmetal. But also, it's just a great physical wall. Once the band was knocked off, I could just spam Synthesis as it eventually kills itself. or I can just click Earth Power and drop it. I think even from this range, Body Press was doing almost enough, especially after that chip. But we just get to back to 100, and we go out into the Victini on the Weezing. Yeah, and then they go out into their Metagross. I just go for a Blue Flare on it. Victini, it does stuff, but Melmetal was worn down enough to the point where I didn't really need to worry about taking my Victini anymore. And they go back out into their Weezing again as we get into Flygon, and we can Mega go for an Ancient Roar doing 70, and then Boom Burst, and then we can Ancient Roar to finish it off, but they do go Donphan. I was almost going to go for Dracon Voice right there. I felt like it was a more of a no drawbacks play, but we do Dracon Voice, and Orbeetle comes out, and this is where I was kind of annoyed that I got rid of Bug Buzz, because if I still had Bug Buzz over Fire Blast, I'm pretty sure I just could win here, depending on, or Bug Buzz even over U-Turn, but I'm pretty sure I would have just had the win here. But we do Ancient Roar and do not quite enough, and then Bug Buzz takes us out. 4v4 game right now. This is kind of where I wish I was Defiant on Empoleon, but it didn't really make a difference because I was special. I could have like gone something with Scald or something, or something over Scald. But we do take out the Orbeetle, and now I have to defog again. They go for Drain Punch, and then I defog. Here, I was thinking maybe, what if they want to click Drain Punch again, they need that for the KO, what if I went out into my Tangrowth or into my Darm, or even into my Hoopa, but I ultimately decided that it was just safer. I would pretty much guarantee a 3-0 victory, or a 2-0 victory if I just stayed in with my Empoleon and let it go down, and down it went. But they've got a super low Weezing and a super low Melmetal, so I can pretty safely just click Aeroblast here, hit that thing, and then Aeroblast again, and now that thing is almost dead. Then they give me the Metagross, or they don't quite give me the Metagross, I switch out into my Tangrowth on the Head Smash, and then they take 12, and then they Wood Hammer, I knew it wasn't going to take me out, and then they take another 12, and I can Body Press take them out. But now, I was predicting maybe like they might have been specs here. I wasn't really sure. Let me just check and make sure I didn't already knock off their item. They ended up revealing Assault Vest right at the end. But if they were like specs, I knew that even this Darm could live one hit from specs, or they might have just wanted to go for Boom Burst. I feel like it did the most damage to that thing if they weren't specs, to the Tangrowth if they weren't specs. So yeah, but we end up picking up a 3-0 victory to start the season 3-0 plus 10. Possibly the best start to a season that I've had in a while. I rarely even go 2-0, but to go 3-0, it's making me really happy. And then next week, I feel like I already started looking into that one. I like the matchup for it, so potentially, I don't want to say 4-0 start quite yet, but I'm really excited to just get that game and then continue with this momentum through the rest of the league and hopefully make playoffs. Obviously, if we start 3-0 and we end up choking away the season, that would be pretty annoying, but I don't foresee that happening. But another solid battle, another good week for APL Insurgents, Regirock Division. And until next time, Jesse504, out. Peace.